Hey guys, welcome to the Touchdown Table. I'm Ryan, that's Tyler, that's Jordan. We are going to be breaking down a recent trade that just occurred. In this case, it is the Chicago Bears acquiring Nick Foles from the Jacksonville Jaguars for a fourth-round pick in return. I know you guys are Bears fans, so you probably got some strong opinions about this. Let's break it down.
Right, first let's go over the deal. Kind of complicated so far, so as I'm saying it, I might be tripping up over my words, as I usually do anyways, but I might be tripping up over my words specifically because it's kind of confusing, so I'll do my best to explain it. So Nick Foles got paid a lot when he went to the Jaguars, and coming to the Bears, well, first of all, the Bears are getting Nick Foles in exchange for a fourth-round pick, so the Jaguars will get a fourth-round pick. Bears get Nick Foles. Basically what I just said, just made it more clear. So coming to Chicago, let's see if we can try to figure this out. I've been reading on it. So hopefully it comes out the way that I want it to. So they are restructuring the deal coming to Chicago. So I believe Adam Schefter said something here. I read it before. I'll try to hopefully say it as it is. But I believe, so Nick Foles still had 3 years left on his contract with the Jaguars. Still have a 3-year contract. He'll still have his $21 million guaranteed in money. But Nick Foles has the ability to void the contract, which means basically he can leave excuse me, during any of the first 2 years.
So good.
My throat just went. But he can leave.
Where?
Not now.
But he just he can avoid the contract and can choose to leave it depending on his performance in the first 2 seasons with the Bears. So giving up Bears having to spend a little bit of money on him, also giving up a 4th pick, but
Fourth-round pick.
Not a 4th pick. Let me have a pick in a 4th round pick. Thank you for clarifying that. So I have my thoughts. We'll get to that in a second. But as I've been doing, I'll turn it over to you guys to start.
No, I like this. As a Bears fan, I do like this. There's a lot of connections in Chicago. We got the passer and the catcher of the Philly special.
Oh, yeah.
And both on the same
Trey
team.
Burton
Trey Burton
and Nick Foles are back.
Nick Foles. John DeFilippo.
And just for any other stories, I just want to say something real quickly, and you can talk about John DeFilippo.
I will.
But sitting here right now, we just previously made a video about Tom Brady. But that Tom Brady-Nick Foles Super Bowl matchup, that's going to be coming back to us this year, possibly.
Oh my god, that's
Nick Foles
crazy.
might not be playing in the game, but he'll be on the same field as Tom Brady again.
Or he might be playing.
I think
he could be playing.
So I know, I'm going to talk about that later in the video, but I think there's a great chance he's playing whenever that game is scheduled.
So that was just a connection. Tyler, keep going.
All right, now John DeFilippo. He's the quarterback coach now for the Chicago Bears. He was with Nick Foles in Philadelphia. That seems to be the only place he succeeds. Maybe John DeFilippo can bring that magic to Chicago.
Also, Matt Nagy worked with him when he was on the Chiefs.
When he was, yeah. So
he's got connection.
It makes a lot of sense here. The only problem I have with it, I don't know what the contract is going to be as we're making this video, but the cap space for the Bears is starting to plummet a little bit. Mm-hmm. It's not looking very good. I do like the quarterback competition with Trubisky, which I'm sure we're going to get to in a second. It was necessary. As a Bears fan, it's obvious for anyone really to know Trubisky did not play good enough last year to be the starter next year. There had to be someone brought in. We only gave up a 4th round pick for it, so it's not too much. Nick Foles, even if he plays or not, I think he's a valuable asset to the team as a backup or as a starter. So I'm excited to see how it goes.
Yeah, I think the addition of Nick Foles is really good for the Bears because, like you said, it puts pressure on Trubisky to get better, which he needs to, or else, well, he's not going to be starting for very much longer if he starts at all this year. But when you look at the Bears, I think that, especially with the moves they've made early on, their offense doesn't have to be elite. He doesn't have to be as good as he was in Philadelphia in that Super Bowl run. He just has to be good enough where that offense could honestly be
Trubisky was
average.
2 years ago.
Yeah, and they went. They go 12-4, and then the double doink happened. But
Nick Foles is on the other side.
Yeah,
of that
that's
game,
another funny storyline in this. But that offense does not have to be elite, so you don't have to ask Nick Foles to do too much. He just has to be a little bit better than he was in Jacksonville for sure, and a little bit better than Trubisky. And I think that he will because he's more experienced. I know Trubisky, people are saying, oh, he's not a finished product. You got to give him time. Well, I feel like the Bears are a team that thinks that they can win now, especially after that really good year they had just a few years ago where they won the division at 12-4. And, many were saying they could have gone very far if that double doink just went in. But that's a what-if scenario. So, yeah, I really like the move because I think that defense is set. I think that offense is just going to be able to say, okay, we'll put up 23 points, and that's good. I think that'll be the case a lot of the time. I don't think they're going to need to light it up every single game, and I wouldn't expect that because I don't think Yeah, I don't think Nick Foles is going to be able to be a Super Bowl MVP every year, but I think as long as that offense does okay, the defense should be able to do the rest, especially with the additions they're making in free agency.
You talked about how Chicago has to try to win now. Well, there's a lot of people in Chicago whose jobs are on the line. You look at general manager Ryan Pace and also head coach Matt Nagy. Both their jobs are kind of on the line. Ryan Pace, the general manager, he was the one who wanted to move up and drafted Trubisky. I'm sure there was other intel from other people to help him out on that decision, but him and his staff ultimately made that decision, and Trubisky not playing up to the standard that they hoped. And also, Matt Nagy is supposed to be the quarterback whisperer. Didn't work as well last year with Mitchell Trubisky, but as Tyler said before, I do like how they brought in somebody else for competition because, I mean, I'm not sure who's going to be the starting quarterback. I know Ryan said that he thinks, well, he kind of foreshadowed to it being, he thinks it'll eventually be Nick Foles.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's going to be interesting how this plays out. I am actually a big fan of Mitchell Trubisky. I've never turned my back on him yet. Sure, I've been frustrated with him as a Bears fan, like all of us are. How could you not be? But I'm excited now to see him have some work. And Kyle Long, who retired, he was an offensive lineman for the Bears for a long time. He posted something when he saw the deal. He said he's excited to see Mitchell Trubisky have some competition and fight for a spot because it'll be good for him, and he believes that Trubisky has that nature in him to fight, and who doesn't like a good quarterback battle, and they got two good quarterbacks now, so it should be interesting to see how it all plays out, and now Bears got options at quarterback, with Chase Daniel being shipped to, I think he's with the Lions now.
Yes, he is. All right, let's really quickly go across the table. Ryan, you already kind of hinted at this, but who do you think ends up being the starter? Let's say like at week 12 where the season's kind of getting to a point where you know things. Who's the guy that they put at that starting job for the rest of the season? Who would you say? Jordan, I'm going to start with you.
All right. So I'm going to have a little bit of a complicated answer here. Maybe not the one that you're exactly looking for, but it will probably hopefully be clear. So I think Trubisky will start off the season. He'll have a decent first few games. Then he'll have a bad game. There'll be pressure to start Nick Foles. So they'll start Nick Foles. He'll play like one or two good games. Won't do good. I think Trubisky will come back. So a little bit of changing at the quarterback position.
Kind of like what happened in Jacksonville?
Yeah, like what happened in Jacksonville. Also different because Nick Foles got injured. It's obviously great to have one steady quarterback who's playing great throughout the whole thing. But as we've seen through both these guys' careers, not always steady throughout the whole thing. So maybe just whoever's got the hot hand. I know the quarterback position is usually not just whoever's got the hot hand. That's usually like a running back position or whatever. Because you usually just want a franchise quarterback you can throw in there and you know they're going to do good for you every single game. But now I guess it'd be something to try for the Bears. I hope that they find I'll say we because I'm a Bears fan. I hope we find one person that is playing very good throughout the whole season. Either one would be fine. I do have my preferences on that. Probably won't share it now, but I can just say it. I know nothing against Nick Foles, but he did come here and beat us with the Philly, all that stuff that happened.
The double doink.
No, I wasn't saying that. I was going to say Philly special, but I don't think I forgot what it's called.
Why do I kind of think you do, though? Comment if you think he forgot what it's called. He forgot what it's called.
No, I just didn't know what I was saying. That's what it happened.
Like switched on you.
So we just move on to Ryan?
Well, you did, or you got more?
I did.
Well, no, keep going. Yeah. I just didn't want to put you out of your misery.
Yeah. Well. Okay. Anyways, so with Nick Foles, he did come here and beat us. So it'll be interesting to see him come back. The response that he gets, but whoever's on the team now, I have to support whatever decision the team makes. I'll have to support. And since Trubisky's been here longer, I'd like to see him succeed since I've been backing him for a while. But whoever's going to make the team do better, I ultimately want to see playing the quarterback position.
Ryan, Nick Foles or Mitchell Trubisky?
I think definitely Nick Foles will be the guy for most of, if not all of the year. I think he's more experienced, and I think he's better, and I think he just has more on his resume, and I think that's what the Bears need right now. I think that you look at that roster, they're just a year removed from that great 12-4 season where a lot of people, even though they were the 3 seed, thought they could have gone all the way had they just, or at least go to the Super Bowl if they had just, won that game against, ironically, Nick Foles and the Eagles. They made the addition of Robert Quinn on the defense, so that defense, it was already good, but now it's going to be even better. And then offensively, you put Nick Foles in there. I know people are going to be concerned about how bad things went in Jacksonville, but remember, it's a very small sample size. It's his first year in a new system, injured in the first game, and even the few games he didn't win a game as their starter, but even in Jacksonville has needed receivers for a long time. I know they had DJ Chark, but DJ Chark's one player. I still think Jacksonville is light on receivers, so I really don't think that little stretch in Jacksonville is too much of a concern. I'm not saying he's going to go win another Super Bowl MVP, but I don't think that he's going to be nearly as bad as he was in Jacksonville, especially since the Bears have a few better weapons than the Jaguars did. So I think it's really a good fit, and I think that Nick Foles will be the guy for the majority of the year because it gives the Bears the best chance to do what they want to do, and that's win right now with that roster.
Yeah, it's gonna be close. I feel like with those two guys, I kind of feel like it's gonna be something similar to what Jordan said, where it's kind of back and forth, something similar to what we saw in Jacksonville with Gardner Minshew and Nick Foles. But by the way, I do want to mention, I think the Jaguars are going to be okay at the quarterback position with Gardner Minshew. They made their decision, so that's good for them on the other end of it. So now that we've covered both ends of it, we're going to wrap this video out. Thank you guys for watching this video. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to our channel, hit the notification bell, comment your opinions about this trade. It's very interesting. And with that, we'll see you guys later.
See ya.